रास्ते लंबे हैं, मंजिल दूर है, मगर हर पल जीना ही सफ़र का नूर है। नमस्कार दोस्तों, मैं हूं डॉक्टर प्लूटो, नए सफ़र और नए कहानियों की खोज में, जिसे आप आस्था भी कह सकते हैं। तो बी हैप्पी इन द नाउ सीरीज़ के चैप्टर 9 तक हम कंप्लीट कर चुके हैं और अब बारी है चैप्टर 10 की। तो चलिए बिना किसी देरी के शुरू करते हैं। चैप्टर 10, हाउ टू मेक हैप्पीनेस अ हैबिट। एनीबडी कैन बी हैप्पी वंस इन अ वे. The sun will appear even on the days that are grey. There will be times when bills we cannot pay, but make it a habit to be happy today. Everybody is happy once in a way, but the challenge is not to be happy occasionally. We must learn to adopt a happiness philosophy that puts a smile on our face all the time. Realize the truth about happiness. Happiness is not just about money, wealth, success, and fame. Pleasure does give us happiness, but sometimes it also robs our peace. Contentment and fulfillment can be far more rewarding in the happiness journey. While happiness is different for different people, our challenge is to keep misery away and not to let it destroy our peace and joy. Yes, there are 3 peaks of happiness. One must evolve from the first peak, achievement, to the second peak, fulfillment. Then one should climb the third peak, liberation, freedom from misery and sorrow. When we evolve from peak to peak, we can raise our happiness index. You can be happy all the time. If somebody told you that this was a myth, you can prove them wrong. A sincere seeker of peace and joy doesn't build his happiness on constant desires. If you want to be happy all the time, you would learn to live with contentment. However, we are gifted with a mind that is a rascal. It will jump from happiness to misery as it swings like a pendulum. It doesn't sit still. If we can restrain our mind from swinging into anxiety, then not only will we be peaceful, but will also live with joy. Most people think it is impossible to be happy all the time because they have never experienced such bliss. They have always submitted to their desires and have experienced disappointments. They have never stopped at their need as they let greed take over the reins of their life. Most importantly, they never learn to live in the present moment, moment by moment, blissfully and peacefully. But you can. If you follow the principles of be happy in the now, you can let misery be a thing of the past. Know what makes you happy. Do you know what makes you happy? Unfortunately, most people don't. Therefore, in my first book, I had described that people must carry a simple happiness card in their pocket that lists out 10 things that would make them happy. Different things fill the happiness list of different people, as each person is unique. For instance, my happiness list would be as follows. What makes me happy? Number 1, singing my favorite happy song. Number 2, spending minutes in silent prayer. Number 3, playing with my pet dog. Number 4, going for a walk with my loved one. Number 5, being silent, counting my blessings. Number 6, going for a retreat into the mountains. Number 7, taking a good nap. Number 8, meeting my groups of positive friends. Number 9, listening to some jokes, watching fun videos. Number 10, listening to an inspirational talk. My happiness list has evolved since then and now has more spiritual things listed. Each one of us may have different things. It may be a good meal or a drink or watching a good movie or spending time with the kids. If we don't have a happiness list, then when the moment of restlessness comes, we don't know what to do and we shrink into misery. We must have a happiness list all the time and we must try to do things that makes us happy. Full happiness triggers. Each of us have several triggers that can unleash joy into our life. They are little triggers, but they can create immense happiness. It may be just an ice cream or a cookie, but there are small things that can put a smile on our face. Happiness triggers are different for a different people, and most people don't even know what triggers happiness in their life. Subconsciously, they will be able to separate what makes them happy from what makes them unhappy. But they don't maintain a ready list of triggers that they can pull when they want to. In fact, it seems people are too busy to be happy although they want to. Very few people focus on their happiness and do those things that give them joy each day. If we really want to be happy, two things are very important. First, we must be conscious of our happiness triggers and have a ready list, not just in our mind but also in our pocket or our mobile phone or our laptop. The second more important thing is that we must have the resolve to pull these happiness triggers on a daily basis to keep happiness flowing constantly in our life. There are a few people who unfortunately thinks that too much happiness is not good. They even feel guilty to be happy all the time. Of course, they would not follow the suggestion of pulling happiness triggers every day. Kill joy stealers. To be happy, it is as important to kill joy stealers as it is to pull happiness triggers. Sure, we must have a list of what makes us happy and we must pull those triggers. But what if there are some joy stealers that are constantly stealing our happiness? I came across several joy stealers along my journey of life. Some of them are fear, hate, worry, greed, anxiety, doubt, jealousy, anger, and revenge. Every time I was dancing in happiness, I could see one of these fugitives lurking in a corner trying to sneak in to steal my happiness. On one occasion, when I was celebrating my success, fear appeared and cast a shadow on my joy. Several times, my moment of bliss abruptly ended when anger took over. Once, when I was excited about a great idea, my happiness was shot down by doubt. If we really want to make happiness a part of our life, we must take stock of our joy stealers and eliminate their presence in our life. To be happy, find out what is making you unhappy and change that. Reverse, rechoice, and rejoice. Flip from NEP to PEP. Another great way of making happiness is a part of our everyday life is to flip over from NEP to PEP. Have you heard of this? PEP? PEP is positive energy power. When we live with positive emotions like faith, hope, love, courage, confidence, enthusiasm, optimism, and forgiveness, we create positive energy in our life. Surely, you must have experienced PEP in your life. However, when we let negative emotions dominate our life, it creates NEP, negative energy poison. We let negative emotions like fear, worry, anxiety, doubt, hate, revenge, jealousy, pessimism, and frustration intoxicate our life and make us miserable. What has NEP to PEP got to do with happiness? I discovered an interesting secret. Every negative has a corresponding positive, and if we make it a habit to flip from NEP to PEP, we can be happy. I used to flip from doubt to faith, from despair to hope, and from hate to love. Instead of letting revenge dominate my emotions, I would replace it with forgiveness, and instead of letting fear rule my thoughts, I would flip over to courage. This habit of flipping from NEP to PEP has gifted me a lot of joy and peace. Make it a habit. The challenge of being happy all the time is to cultivate a habit of being happy. Don't let happiness be a once in a while thing. Don't let it be something intermittent. Let there be a conscious flow of joy in your life, which is not interrupted by constant attacks of misery and sorrow. Of course, there will be problems. A problem-free life is an illusion. It doesn't exist. But just because you have problems, it doesn't mean you have to be unhappy. Everybody has problems, but we must learn not to confuse our problems with our happiness. Problems come and problems go. and we must watch them without letting them destroy our joy and peace. Those who make happiness a habit becomes expert with their happiness triggers, eliminating joy stealers. They flip from NEP to PEP, but most importantly, they learn to enjoy their life moment by moment in the now, making being happy a habit. Don't just be happy once in a way, smile and dance whatever they say. It's no use if you do this just today. Make this a habit. Do this every day. Summary of Chapter 10. How to make happiness a habit. Point number 1. We must learn to adopt a happiness philosophy that puts a smile on our face all the time. Rather than being happy occasionally, it's about making happiness a habit. Point number 2. Most people think that it is impossible to be happy all the time. They have never experienced such bliss. But how does one get liberated from misery and sorrow and remain happy all the time? Point number 3. It is a good idea to have a happiness list, a list of the things and activities which make you happy all the time. Point number 4. We must identify our happiness triggers and destroy the joy stealers. We need to flip over from negative energy poison (NEP) to positive energy power (PEP). Point number 5. Finally, we need to make happiness a habit and learn to enjoy our life moment by moment in the now, not just once in a way, not just today, but every day. और इसी के साथ हमारा चैप्टर 10 भी कंप्लीट होता है। हम फिर मिलेंगे नेक्स्ट चैप्टर में। तब तक डॉक्टर प्लूटो के साथ बने रहने के लिए हमें सब्सक्राइब करें, और अगर आपको ये वीडियो पसंद आई हो तो प्लीज़ लाइक करें और कमेंट में हमें अपनी राय ज़रूर बताएं कि कैसी लग रही है आपको ये ऑडियो बुक। धन्यवाद। जय महाकाल।